Hi, I'm Rich from Brother and Bones.
Hi, I'm James, and you're watching Toasted.
All right, guys, welcome to Amsterdam.
Oh, thanks. Good to be here.
You just did a session here in the park, in the Vondelpark. You know where you are, right, or not?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a big park, with lots of water. Yeah, it's great.
Big carps.
Yeah, big carps. Yeah, we just saw some massive ones.
And again,
He's still there,
shit,
look.
film it, Oscar.
He's
Get
actually
it.
watching. Go on, get him. That is a big
Be
carp.
really rad. Anyway, but you told me you were actually a fisherman once as a young kid, right?
Yeah, I used to do it. Yeah,
Grew up as
a
a
bit.
fisherman.
I grew up as a fisherman. Yeah, look how it's changed. Yeah, no.
You guys are from Cornwall originally, right? Some of you guys.
Yeah.
Some of us, Rich and Rob, they're from Cornwall. But yeah, just because they're from Cornwall doesn't mean there's lakes anywhere else, or not lakes anywhere else,
Lakes in Cornwall.
or sea anywhere. I'm actually from Kent, so
Okay.
it's kind of that way, sort of seaside anyway. But it's literally the opposite end of where Rich and Rob are from. So, but yeah, sort of spent a lot of time around that way as well. So I used to go fishing with my granddad. So
I was kind of kidding about barehandedly catching that carp and hinting towards Tennessee, because I think you guys really have a sound that would work well in America.
Yeah, we get told that a fair bit.
Of course.
It's one of those annoying things. I suppose annoying in a way that we've not really had the opportunity to sort of test the waters out there too much. It's just so expensive for British bands and European bands to get out to the States to tour properly. You know, you almost have to go and live there. But we've had a couple of trips out there, and the reaction's been pretty good. Yeah, just we did a few club shows on the West Coast and a couple of festivals out in Colorado. So yeah, we'd love to do it more. To be honest, I think the American market for rock music, I suppose we sort of band ourselves in that rock music bracket, is it's a sort of big genre over there, and they really seem to get it. So we'll see what happens.
Is it something that you guys work on deliberately, or?
not really. I mean, we've all got bluesy influences. I think we've all grown up with. Well, Rich has got like folky stuff as well, and I think all of us, you can't help it. You know, like blues music's everywhere, isn't it? You know, even if you listen to, you know, a Katy Perry tune or something, there's probably some kind of blues roots in there somewhere. And for our music, it just kind of comes out a bit. It sort of stands out a bit more. So, which obviously we're really proud of. You know, we all love the blues. So I guess that's why it lends itself to American music, and probably a lot of people sort of make that connection. But we're not deliberate with it. It just comes out. It's what we just play and write what we like to hear. Do you know what I mean? You can't. I don't know. We've never sort of contrived it and gone, I want to make it more bluesy. Sometimes when it's gone down that route, we're like, yeah, let's stick with that.
I was surprised how loud your sound can be. I mean, it's like really, well, touching metal. If you would sing differently, it would be metal.
Yeah, it's funny that the kind of crowds that we get is so non-specific. You know, we're like everybody from sort of the old rocker sort of crowd, the Zeppelin people that love Zeppelin, and people that love metal. And
Funny that you mentioned Zeppelin, because I mean sometimes you do have like the sloppy bass drum sound, like the flappy bass drum sound that Led Zeppelin has.
Well, I mean, you know, Zeppelin, I think for any kind of, again, rock band, it's impossible to not sort of tip your hat to those guys in some way or another, whether you know Rage Against the Machine or Raw Blood or whoever it may be. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not something we've kind of really thought about that much.
Well, in an interview, one of you guys said, you know, I don't like it to be compared to other bands, which is, well, actually, I think is a really good quote, because what's the point? You know. On the other hand, if you never heard any music of a band, you always subscribe them like, well, you know, they sound a little like this, and
exactly.
but
someone has to put a label somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And that's fine. And I think just because we've got so many influences, you know, there's 5 of us as well, so all of us have got our own tastes, and then we've all found there's a middle ground for all of us. We all like a handful of the same bands and the same artists and stuff like that. So, you know, but at times some of those other ones might just slip in, and I don't know, sometimes as well, like, you know, say Yannis, our drummer, he was really into Metallica when he grew up, you know, so maybe yeah, shouldn't mention. No, but you know, that's an influence at the end of the day, and so sometimes he just sort of just holds it down, and kind of what like Lars would, and it makes it heavier, doesn't it? And like the Led Zeppelin stuff and all that. You know, you can't just let's
not
talk about
Lars.
Bonham, all right. So yeah, we all like Led Zeppelin. All right, let's go on about that. No. But we've all had like phases where we've listened to heavier music. You know, we've all been teenagers. We've listened to your Green Days and stuff like that. So it's all in there somewhere, isn't it? So when we're in a rehearsal room and we're just jamming ideas, it's bound to come out. So
I think people find it sort of a bit kind of incongruous because I'm fronting the band with an acoustic guitar. So just like inherently, you look at a band on stage and you see someone come out with an acoustic guitar and you think, oh, it's going to be like James Blunt or something. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think they really expect it to come out all guns blazing and to really go there as much as maybe we do, just with the being a 5-piece and having loads of drums and a big tribal kind of percussion section and stuff like that. So
it's funny actually that you mentioned James Blunt, because it was the thing that I was about to ask. It's like, you know, the style, the music. Well, it has to be careful because I might go over the edge here. But
Cop's gonna eat you up.
exactly. Well, you know, they're massively dangerous. But no, I mean, I like James Blunt. I think he's a good songwriter, and I mean, it's easy to pick on a guy like that and just slag him off. And on the other hand, if you read his Twitter feed, he's like hilarious.
He's really funny. I've since I've seen some of his responses on Twitter, I've got a lot more respect for the guys. He's actually.
Well, that brings me to my point. It's like, the same happened to Nickelback, you know. I mean, there are guys, it's easy to slack off Nickelback, easily to call them the most hated popular band in the world. On the other hand, of course, people do that have a point, because there is a thin line between being pathetic and being romantic, you know. And with your music style, it can be a challenge to be arty.
yeah,
You know, with James Blunt and Nickelback, funny enough you say it, is when we went to LA and we recorded the album, Will, one of the engineers that was there, he'd not long worked with Nickelback, and he told us that those guys, he said they're really cool, and they know that people hate them, but they're like, do you know what, like, we're making too much money to care. They're like, so what, like, yeah, and they were like, yeah, we know it's a bit naff, but people keep buying it, so why should we stop?
I said a couple of good songs as well.
Yeah, I think we're on a slippery slope of like
Comparing ourselves to Nickelback, yeah.
I don't think.
I'm just like, fair enough, if they want to go down that route.
Between that and like Bieber.
There isn't any, is there?
There you go.
Hey, let's get back to the album. Exactly. You recorded in LA, mixed in LA, mastered in LA.
Yeah.
Why everything in LA?
We were looking for different. We had a few different scenarios about how we were going to record it, who we were going to record the album with. We kind of knew what we wanted to do and what the arrangements were going to be, and so it's more of a case of just the process. And it actually ended up, because we sort of self-financed the album. You know, we just toured a lot and sort of put our pennies away from touring, and we wanted to make sure we made the right decision. And it was actually cheaper to do it in LA than it was to do it in Europe, because we got booked for a festival in Colorado. So that paid for all our flights and our visas, and you know, it was great because we were going to be there anyway, and we just basically coincided it with a bit more time, and it worked out with the producer we ended up working with, Billy, who, you know, we really respect and love his work anyway. So it kind of all just sort of came together really quickly. We were just pushing so hard to make it happen in one of the different scenarios that we were looking at, and that just kind of just went, okay, this is going to work, let's go and do it.
Killer sound, I think, killer production. The album's called Snow. 11 songs, so probably vinyl bound.
Yeah, it will be on vinyl. Yeah, it's been a funny little thing we've had today about it. I'm not sure where everyone's got the fact that it's called Snow from, but it's gone through everyone.
It's not the title.
No, it's not.
That's the info I got, actually.
Yeah, I know. We've heard that before. Anyway, but it doesn't matter. There's a load.
So what is the album?
It's just self-titled. Eponymous self-titled.
Okay.
That's important now, isn't it? It was like, self-titled. You quite liked Snow, didn't you?
Well, I don't know. I think self-titled might even be better, actually.
Well, that's what we thought. That's why we did it.
We were going to call it Snow as well, which is really no, we weren't.
So that crept in somewhere. Weird how that happens.
Yeah, the front cover is just a kind of a landscape shot of a bleak, snowy landscape in the southwest of the UK. I don't know how it's not actually called Snow, but whatever.
So then probably the order of numbers that I listened to is also fucked up and really in a weird, different way. Because I think
you're listening to the latest Metallica album.
No, there wasn't any good song on there. Trust me. No, just kidding. No, because I think the four best songs are straight in the beginning, straight after each other.
Okay, cool.
Is that a choice? I mean,
probably, yeah. I don't know. I think there's some of the songs in the middle latter half of the album that they're not the immediate songs. So
no, but really, because normally if you listen to an album, you go like, okay, well, you start with a strong song, then probably an opener which is a little bit longer, but with your album, it was like, what, another great song? What?
We wanted it to be consistent and flow as an album, but also kind of acutely aware of. Even though we feel like we're going to be an album band, even though we only made one album, people's sort of attention span, the way they listen to music now, you really need to keep people involved. So if we can make that journey a little bit easier for people, then maybe the middle, later half of the album, people will be involved enough after the first 4 tracks, they'll just go, cool, I'm going to see this through. So maybe that was the process.
Yeah.